What's going on, hustlers? Second take, third take? I don't know what take this is, but yeah, so as I mentioned earlier in the video, we did have a couple of minor technical difficulties in terms of getting the stuff edited for this series. So I just want to kind of establish some precedent, establish some rules. So you can expect an episode coming out every other week. So one episode every 2 weeks. And this is going to give us time to make sure that these videos get properly edited and then allow us to continue to put out content that is still immediately beneficial and provides value to new contractors and established contractors alike. So with that being said, let's transition into the video. We've got 9 current quotes with labels. Also, fun fact, I did have to just update my Dibs password. My favorite thing to do is literally just copy and paste the password requirements into ChatGPT from Dibs. And then I'm just like, yo, create me a password that meets these parameters. And that's been pretty fruitful for me. And then I just copy and paste it into my Notes app. I used to have a method called the staircase method, which if you're an OG subscriber, you know about that method. Or if you're like an OG non-Yad family member and you were like, you attended some of the first boot camps, you know about that method. All it entails, and I actually have a keyboard right here that's not mine that I can show you. So all it entails is you go down the stairs like this. So 1 Quebec Alpha Zulu, and then you hold the shift button and do the same thing. 1 Quebec Alpha Zulu. So now you've got a new set of characters. So now it's exclamation point, capital Q, Alpha, Zulu. And then you do the same thing, 2 Whiskey, Sierra, X-ray. And then hold shift, @ with capital Whiskey, capital Sierra, capital X-ray. And then so on and so forth. Usually you do that for 3 rows and it looks like you're going down a flight of stairs. So for anybody that doesn't like the ChatGPT method or you don't like AI, you can always use the staircase method. So we've currently got 9. Oh, I didn't mean to delete that. Whoops. All right, so this is a bad label. Can't do anything with that. Let's look at this one. This might also be bad. Yeah, this is also a bad label. Just a bunch of bad labels we're getting here. This is a good label. There's a contract number on there. Oh, they might have sent me that thing twice. So that's a bad label. Okay, so out of 9 labels that we got, only 3 of them have been good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to continue to RFQ, and let's get a new set of labels in there. My goal for the day is to fire off 30 RFQs. So that is the number that I'm looking for here. And I also just offloaded like a bunch of the stuff I had downloaded to my computer onto an external 2 terabyte hard drive. So my computer should be significantly faster. So yeah, let's get into it. Essentially all I'm doing is I'm just going through this FSC code 1560, which is aircraft structural components. I'm not doing anything with tech docs. It's not to say that you can't find surplus with tech docs. You 100% can. I just don't really want to open that can of worms. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is, as I'm pulling up another parts-based portal here, also I kind of prefer ILS as a parts marketplace, but whatever, is some of the companies that I've worked with, they message me and they're like, oh, is there any way that I can help or contribute to this Road to $1 Million series? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I care nothing about profit. Like I really could care less if I make any money doing this. Obviously I will make money, but like when I say I could care less about profit, I'm not operating from the perspective of like, oh, I have to operate at a 30% margin, or like I have to make $200,000 from a 20% margin. I really could care less about doing that. Like, so the reason I bring that up is that one of the companies that I've worked with, I told them, I was like, yo, any woman-owned small business set-asides that you see for your niche, get me a quote on them. I will submit the bid for you, And then I will just go ahead and purchase the material from you directly, so that way you are able to develop that relationship with the vendor, and you can also do business with us. So like whatever the margin is, if you want to mark it up 5% on your quote to us, so that way you make some money from it, or you don't want to mark it up at all and you just want the relationship, that's completely fine. You're well within your prerogative to do that. But I was just like, yo, bro, if you want to be a part of this, send me anything that's woman-owned or hub zone. So anybody that's watching this, I get emails all the time. You would not believe the amount of DMs that I get from people who are like, yo, can I partner with you? Can I partner with you? And I'm like, nah, I don't really do that. But if anybody wants to do that, now is the time. Here is your opportunity to be able to work with me. So if you have something that is woman-owned or hub-zoned, and it's in your niche and you can get a good price on it and you want to win it, send me a quote, bro. I'll bid it on your behalf. You can go ahead, take the W in terms of like developing your relationship with the vendor. You can go ahead and purchase it from them, and then Two Lines Aerospace will purchase it from you. So again, I am just bringing that up to illustrate that I don't really have like a set profit margin that I'm kind of looking at as I pursue this. So all right, cool. So this is our first RFQ of the day. It looks like the individual unit price it last sold for like $3,500, $3,400, which not great. Let's see, what is it showing the procurement history? Yeah, $3,800, but then there's a $4,500 and then a $4,600. So hopefully I get a good price on this and I can mark this up like pretty egregiously. So yeah, this is the first RFQ of the day. So we got 29 more to go, and then we are gonna submit those those 3 bids. Those 3 bids that we did get labels on, and then I think I'm also gonna go ahead and use this one website, hella free sauce, but you gotta watch all the way to the end of the video if you want the sauce. I am gonna use this one website to basically farm commercial off the shelf products and get some quotes. So again, I'm just skipping anything that has to do with tech talks, anything that says no tech talks. That's right up my alley, especially because I don't need volume here, right? Like I just want stuff that I know I will get at a price point that significantly exceeds. Like look at this, boom. This shit it was going for like $46, then $800, then $1,000 in 2015. 10 years later, $15,000. Like you can't make this shit up, bro. And it's fucking surplus. I gotta stop swearing. I had a dream that I didn't get a flying job because I kept swearing. So I'm gonna stop swearing, and it's not godly of me. All right, cool. Nobody has this part. Awesome. But this company does have it. And how many do they need? They need 5? I bet. Let's see. Is there anything else? Is there anything for this other part number? So there's some other stuff, but these are all for a bolt, not for a fitting. Some of these companies have it as a fitting, actually, but they're in the UK. See, this is why it's important to search via multiple part numbers. Or no, it's a retainer seal, so it's not even a fitting, so disregard that. We don't want to RFQ anybody that has it listed as a fitting. It's not lit. No. I actually don't know if I've ever done any business with this company, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they actually don't like me. I'm gonna move the mic so it's out of my face here, or so it's not hitting my shoulder. And normally I would be doing this a lot faster The reason why it's not going as fast is because I want you guys to see everything I'm doing on one screen. So normally I just be copying and pasting. I have my laptop here and it's connected to a monitor over there. So normally I would just copy and paste stuff in between the monitors, but yeah, here we are. We're on our second RFQ of the day. So we've got to get 28 more. So let's keep it firing here. That one last sold for $15K, and there's 2 solicitations on there. So if we get one quote, we can use it for both because the quantity is the same. So now let's go to this one, 3 units. And if you guys notice, I talked about this in episode 1. I have zero desire to do anything more than like 10, 15 units. Okay, this one's not bad. It's going for like 3,600. And there's 3 units. So let's just see what the market has. I really got to get the ILS login and username. I'm going to text my buddy and ask for the ILS login. I bet. We're on a pretty good roll, so we've literally already gotten 10% of the RFQing that we need to do for the day done. And we're on like what? This is like maybe the 4th solicitation that we've looked up, so I'm pretty happy with that. If everything else goes this smoothly for the rest of the day, we might increase that number to like 50, because that's the number that I tell you guys is like, yo, let's get to 50 RFQs a day, and that number is not arbitrary. So you're gonna get about 15% of the quotes that you submit back as viable. What do I mean by viable? It means that the pricing and the availability is gonna be good, and the traceability is going to be good. And then I know that I tell you guys, if you take the time to submit a quote, go ahead and if you take the time to RFQ, go ahead and submit a bid with the pricing you got, which is true. But when I say that 15 or 30% of 50 are going to come back as viable, I mean that like usually it's about 30% of the stuff that you submit for the day is going to be like competitive pricing. You'll get more than 15% back. You'll get more than 15 back. My freaking login expired. You'll get more than 15 back, but it's usually about 15 that like looks sexy on paper. So we fired off 3 RFQs. Can we get a 4th one? I'm pretty happy with this. And how many do they need? They need 5? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, if somebody has this part, that means that we're going to be at like 4 RFQs on the day, bro. Come on. Okay, nobody has enough units of this part, but the price point of the stuff that we're looking at appears to be quite good, which is like what we're looking for. So can't complain about that. I'm going to go through all of the 1560s. Okay, $2,500 a pop for how many units? Okay, only 3 units. It's not worth our time to RFQ. I'm gonna swap to 3040 after I make it through all of 1560. 3040 is just a really good price point. As we can see, this one also decent price point. How many units? Okay, 1 unit. Not great, but it hasn't been sold in 20 years. So this one I'm gonna RFQ because I could probably mark this up like between 5 to 10 grand. And it's Lockheed Martin. And you guys know me. I love to sell Lockheed Martin stuff. Okay, so last time when I was working like full time, this company like hated me. They wanted nothing to do with me, but I haven't RFQ'd them in some time. So we're gonna see. Maybe they forgot about me, or maybe somebody at the office developed a relationship with these guys. Like we do sell stuff directly to Lockheed Martin. Like one of my best childhood friends who works at the company, he was like one of the OG employees. He manages our Lockheed Martin account. So there's a lot of companies that he was able to establish relationships with because these were companies that would bid direct, and they wanted nothing to do with me when I would reach out to them because they were all like, oh, this is for an open DLA solicitation. We're not going to quote you. We bid direct. But when you sell directly to Lockheed Martin, then it's like, well, it's not for an open DLA solicitation. So what are you gonna do? Not quote me? Like, I'm trying to make you some money, and we're not bidding on the same thing. So there has been the development of some relationships. Look at this one, $31,000, and it last sold for $20,000, and that was 8 years ago. So clearly, we're looking in the right product market. And how many does the government need? The government only needs one. So we are on the money. We are on the money. Oh, and I just fired off another RFQ, so that's got to put me at like 5. Okay, nobody has it based off the NSN. Let's see what happens if we search via the part number. Give me one. Fudge. I said fudge. I didn't say the bad word. I said fudge. Come on. Okay. Nobody has it. It says 3 parts listings, but yeah, all right. Unfortunately, nobody has it, but it's a good sign. If that's the dollar value of these parts, it's a good sign. Let's see what comes up next. Okay, $8,000. Last sold for $14,000. I can get jiggy with that. So again, people have this part, but they just don't have it as new surplus. And I would do something factory new, but like it would just, the stars would just have to align. Like the trace would have to be a banger. It would have to be like inspection destination. It would have to be like FOB. Okay, this is good. 6,200. How many does the government want? The government wants 4 of these. Yeah, like everything would just have to work. If I was gonna do something factory new, I just can't really be bothered to fill out paperwork on the back end. I just like doing all my paperwork on the front end, and if the government approves it, then I know that when it comes time for me to purchase the material, nobody asks me any questions. I just like the peace of mind that comes with that. $10,000 a pop, 6,500. How many is it? Okay, the government wants 2 of these. Not enough. Let's try this link assembly. Did our luck run out? We got to 5. We got to do 25 more RFQs here today. Ew, $63. That doesn't help us. Whoa. Okay, hold on. This is why you got to look at the procurement history, guys, because sometimes you get instances like this. So you always got to check, because the unit price, like the management price, is $468, but it's clearly being sold here by Boeing for $5,000. And how many does the government want? The government wants 3. Okay, that could be like $15,000. So let's see if anybody has this. Nobody has it. So the one thing that I want to say is, like, if I were to put it as condition all, and you see that there are some parts listed, but nothing shows up, that means that it does exist in the market, but just nobody has it at that price point. Yeah, so it says parts listing 3, so NE. Okay, I'm going to RFQ this company just for shits and gigs, just to see what happens. It's really never, ever been my thing. I can't say never. Like, for COT stuff, like commercial off-the-shelf items, I used to do that, but I'll drop this company in RFQ just for the video. Okay, so we're coming up on, this is going to be our 6th RFQ. So we are now 20% of the way done with our RFQing for the day, and it's been 20 minutes. So really, you can't be mad at that. At this rate, that means it'll take me like an hour and 2 hours of work to get all my RFQing done. Then obviously I'm gonna have to submit the bids. How many does the government want? The government wants 3. So there's 3 solicitations. 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so there's 5 solicitations for this. It does say that it's a nut, so I'm not particularly expecting it to be super valuable. But let's check the procurement history. Okay, so there's it's $620 a pop for 40. So what is that? Okay, so it's $24,800, and there's multiple, like 5 solicitations for this. So what I'll do, normally you're supposed to get a quote. Okay, Dakota Airports has these NE. So it does look like the the majority of their inventory is, yeah. That's what you gotta check. So Dakota Airports has this as new surplus, but I know they don't carry government new surplus, so that's a little bit disappointing, but we move. And there's no procurement history for this one. So guys, I'm gonna get to work. If you guys want to see like the time lapses of me RFQing, like me talking, drop a comment down below if you want to see that stuff. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna chop the video here until I'm done with my RFQing, and then I will catch up with you guys once I start doing my commercial off the shelf stuff. So that's the plan for right now. If you guys want to see these videos formatted differently and you like me verbalizing my thought process and showing you guys what I'm looking at, we can do that. And also keep in mind, because it's early in the series and we haven't won anything yet, which my goal is to be at $250,000 by the end of the year, which I'm very confident will happen. Like I think we'll be at $100K by the end of next month as we're submitting these bids. But obviously this information and the content that you're going to see is going to change as we start to win, right? Eventually you'll see me going down to Miami to go interact with Richard. You'll see these conversations with me on the phone negotiating and stuff like that. It's just, we haven't built a sales pipeline. So as the sales pipeline is starting to build, the content is going to change. So don't expect this to be the whole series. But if, as I'm doing this throughout the series, you guys want to see and hear my thoughts and what I'm looking at, just drop a comment and I will pass it along to our editor. So I will see you guys in probably about an hour. All right. Well, we have since returned. It's no longer the same day. No pun intended. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. This is supposed to be like an authentic series. I gotta fix this. This is supposed to be an authentic series, so I'm not even gonna lie. I almost forgot the level of work it takes to do this at the level that I prescribe to you guys. Like the meeting the metrics, it is not easy. And I was prescribing it because it worked for me when I was doing it all day, every day for 3 years and some change. But to come back to doing it's pretty hard. Wasn't able to meet the goal. We did like 24 email RFQs, which is pretty good. And then we ended up submitting 9. We ended up submitting 9 bids. So like still a very solid day. Nothing to be ashamed of. But a couple of days have passed. I got a flat tire on the way to the gym. And I've been very blessed, very fortunate to like be able to interview for some amazing aviation jobs. The interview process is just going a little bit slower than I would have liked. So that's also weighing on my mental. So this is just like a super raw, unfiltered series. Wouldn't be lying if I texted my girlfriend this morning like, hey babe, I don't feel like Superman today. But I'm getting up and doing the work anyways. So here we are. I'm going to submit like another 9 bids or so today. My goal is to be at like 250K by the end of September. So we got to start firing off. I do want to show you guys something though. This low-key might be like too much sauce like for YouTube, but whatever. I'm kind of just banking on the fact that like me showing this sauce is going to let people know that I'm like authentic and I'm in this for the love of the game, not as like a money grab. So yeah, let's get to it. So I use ChatGPT to kind of outline, there's a bunch of components on this website and I was just like, yo, tell me what the most valuable thing is. Test and measurement equipment. All right, bet. So everything that's here, and then spectrum analyzers, source measurement. Yeah, I don't know what any of this shit means, but SMUs, alright, bet. So pretty much all I've done, I just figured out what the hell's the most valuable thing here. Cool. And then I was just like, all right, bet. Let's just go see. Let's go look up the cage code of this company. See if they even have a cage code. No results found for Keithley Instruments. I saw another. Ooh. No idea what that is. No idea how to even pronounce that, but looks like sauce. All right, they don't have anything. Keysight Technologies, couldn't tell you. These look like part numbers that DLA would buy, though. Let's see if this is all right. Cool, this is a banger. I was just about to say in the video, sometimes I leave little notes for my editor. I'm just like, yo, if you see me going through this for like 20 minutes and nothing comes out, just absolutely chop it. It's cooked. But yeah, seems like it's not cooked. So yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. Extract exclusively the cage codes from what I am gonna paste in here. That's the real sauce right there. And then we're just gonna throw this in the div and see what comes up. All right, we got 71 contracts. So you're gonna have to just replay the video if you just want to know what the hell I just did. I can't speak on it too much because I gotta leave some sauce. I gotta leave some sauce to be desired. I can't put everybody on my scent, but yeah, you guys just witnessed some sauce. So I'm gonna go through this. I submitted 9 bids yesterday. I'm gonna go through this, let you guys know what I end up finding, and then I'm gonna combine that with. I think I have like 7 or 8 bids to submit today. So I'll see you guys on the flip side once we start submitting those bids. All right, so I have been collecting some fire quotes for some commercial off-the-shelf items for some stuff that I just looked at. Now, I noticed some of the stuff, nobody's in the procurement history. Some of the stuff, it hasn't been sold forever, so it's no comp. But there's one company that just continues to show up. And it's not like their pricing is great, but they show up consistently in the procurement history. So eventually, after seeing somebody, you gotta keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So I looked this company up. They're not even a U.S. company. Like, their cage code is registered to a place in New Hampshire, but when you look them up, they're actually in the province of Ontario. So geographically, it makes sense, right? They're a Canadian company in Ontario, but they list their company in New Hampshire. It's not far. It's probably like, 2, maybe 3 hour drive, right? And they list themselves as a U.S. company, but they get their stuff from Canada. So they've only done $11 million since 2007. And if I alone had been in business for that long, I would have surpassed them. So basically, these guys just found a really interesting niche. But they haven't made like a lot of money, which, I mean, respect. Like, it's $11 million in 18 years. Like, I'm not like spitting on that. That's about like $1 million a year. I'm not spitting on that at all. But what I am suspecting, or what I think I'm going to do, is I'm just going to call this company. It's Friday right now, so I'm just going to call them on Monday. I'm going to be like, listen, we're a company in Florida. Also, I'm a Canadian citizen, so I'm going to be like, listen, I want to make you guys money. I don't want to step on your toes. And if you say no, I will. I'm going to literally approach it like, if you say no, we will step on your toes. But I'm going to be like, listen, I don't want to step on your toes. I see you guys are already selling this stuff. We will beat you if we bid. Like, some of my pricing is already more competitive than yours, and we have significantly more past performance. My name holds more weight than yours. But let's just partner. I have no issues buying the material from you and you get it directly from the vendor. I don't need to develop a relationship with the vendor. I just want to be able to sell the stuff to DLA. So I think I'm going to reach out to them. We're HubZone and woman owned, and I have SDVOSB companies that I can work with. So I'm just going to call them on Monday and I'm going to just be like, yo, like, what's good? You trying to do some business? I see you're in the procurement history. I recently started bidding on this stuff. I don't want to take away the business from you. I'd like to keep making you money, but let's just basically ensure that we both make money off of this. So that's how I'm going to approach it. I've compiled a good amount of bids. I do have a client call in 36 minutes. So I don't know how much submitting I'm going to get done between now and then, but I will submit these bids today. It has to get done. So hopefully the client call doesn't last too long. Like I'm going to try to limit it to 30 minutes and then we're going to submit. But let's see. How many more do I have left? How many solicitations do I have left on dibs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So I have 5 solicitations left on dibs to go through and get quotes on. So that'll probably take me like 10 minutes. And then if I have time, I will submit them. But I'm going to update you guys at the end of total submissions. I've got some stuff that's well over $100,000. Commercially available stuff. So like my goal of $250,000 by the end of next month is very reasonable. But I just wanted to give you guys that update. The next episode 4, I'm probably going to title it like keep your friends close, keep your enemies close. Or shout out Babyface Ray. He just dropped a new album and there's some really good songs on this Babyface Ray album. So I've been listening to that, but overall, feeling good. I was feeling a little bit down on myself at the beginning of today, not the beginning of the episode, but the beginning of today. And yeah, this has been very productive. I think if I had to guess, I think I might have just sniped like 10 to 12 commercial off the shelf bids, all in the 5 to 6 figure range. So pretty happy about that, especially the comp is super low. Like it's us and this Canadian company. So, I just found like a super saucy niche, but yeah, I'm going to get back to this and then I will update you guys once I start submitting and then at the end of the submissions. All right, guys. So that is a wrap on today's video. So here we've got everything tallied up that I submitted on Saturday or Friday, whenever this was. And then it was a long weekend. It was Labor Day. So we submitted 10 bids that day, totaling roughly about 300,000. These are the ones that are highlighted here. And then we sent out about 25 RFQs. So 300,000 submitted over the duration of 10 bids. I'm pretty happy with that number. So we're definitely going to continue to bid. And then, as I said, we're going to pursue that relationship with that company out in Canada. So yeah, that is a wrap on episode 3. 300,000 submitted for episode 3. Can't complain about that. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Remember, free seminar 2-part series. Catch you guys in the next one.